Stream highlight too. Why the fuck not? All right, you want to read it with me? Or you want to like
They
look over
wow
with me?
they buff side.
All right, so I have never seen the forgotten god, being Ornn. My grandmother told me these tales, but she never saw the forgotten god either. Why is he forgotten? Nor did her grandmother before her, or hers before hers. Wait, 1,000 times over, his legends endure only around crackling fires and meals of roasted fish. I fucking hate fish. The further back we trace our ancestors, the truer the tales become. The children's weary faces lift a
Oh,
little higher. Firelight dances on their cheeks, but pain lives in their eyes. Well, no, do they live in the fucking frozen desert? Gods dwell around us in the sky, in between clumps of soil, and behind the veils of stars, and in the sands. Azir. We need only to seek their favor to channel their being into our hearts and deeds. Yeah, do sexual favors for them. For instance, on the sea, it is so cold that your eyeballs might freeze solid in their sockets. No, it's true. But when sailors rub blubber on their faces and think about the seal sister, whose true name is forgotten, they are protected from the icy wind. So they're basically saying wives' tales. It's like, oh, if you do this, you won't do this. Others, such as
I mean the
Volibear,
Volibear's like a god running around being an asshole.
Others, such as Volibear, refuse to allow their own legends to fade and still stalk this world. He demands sacrifice and
Oh
forces
god.
obedience, much like the Earth sign. Wait, so is Volibear an actual god? Because he was just
Yes.
a regular bear.
Now he's a god.
He was just a regular bear. They all have heard the tales of the half bear abominations. Fear makes the children lean closer to the fire. Oh, yes, little ones. It sounds like a rape. Oh, yes, little ones. We may speak later of the bear skinned storm bearer, but the less said about him, the better. Like grandmother used to say,
Volibear.
stand behind Brom. Once they lean close to the fire, they're yours. Indeed. Oh, what the fuck? Indeed, these stories concern the firstborn of the gods. Number one,
Oh,
shaping of the land. Ornn was the firstborn of his brothers and sisters. He leapt into the world, itching for a fight. This was not so easy, however. Trees were weak adversaries, snapping far too easily. Icebergs melted at his touch, running away into the sea. Frustrated, he punched a mountain, but the mountain did not yield. Ornn was pleased
oh,
by this, so he
he
challenged the
liked
land
it.
itself to a good-natured brawl. He sounds like he would like game it
Imagine
up.
this little ass man beating the fuck out of everything he
I
sees.
think lore-wise he's pretty fucking big. Anyway, as
I
Ornn
don't know.
wrestled with the land, he dented and bruised it, shaping all of the Freljord that we know today. He headbutted mountains, what the fuck, from the plains and pounded down deep valleys. When he was tired, Ornn thanked the land for the glorious match. The land responded by opening a fiery pit, showing him its very heart. It sounds like it wants to fuck him. And he was honored to see it was a reflection of him, a fiery ram. The land had deemed Ornn worthy and bestowed its secrets to him, gifting him the strength of primordial flame, for fire is the true agent of change. He looked at the landscape. That was the result of his fight and nodded. It would do. After this, Ornn set himself to building tools and weapons.
Bag of weed, everything's better than a bag of
Jesus.
weed.
My ancestors must be smiling, for at this moment a light snow began to fall. Gentle flakes settle on the children's furred hoods, and they stick out their tongues. Ew, for dick. Did you know that there used to be no snow in the Freljord? What the fuck? It's true. Our
Yes,
lands
Orn
have
caused
always
this.
been the coldest in the entire world, but in the early days there was only bitter, dry air and no such thing as storm clouds.
Unreal.
The origins of snow. It was during the early cloudless and cold days that Ornn built a house. He made it of the finest lumber. The magnificent home spanned 3 valleys. Can you imagine that, Hunter?
Jesus.
Can you?
Three
Yes.
valleys?
3 valleys.
That's fucking huge.
After completing his majestic horny hall, Ornn appraised his work. Good. He said, "Good." He said, "There were the days before. These were the days before language, so this was a compliment indeed." Wait, so he invented like language? What the fuck?
Ornn makes all.
Now his sister Anivia was annoyed. Ornn had felled her favorite perching trees to build his home, so she decided to teach him a lesson.
Ooh.
While Ornn was sleeping, she flew in through his bedroom window. Then she tickled his nose with one of her feathers. What the fuck? Causing him to sneeze a gout of flame that set fire to the bedsheets. The bedsheets set the fucking floor on fire. Anivia panicked. I guess she didn't want this much done, and flapped her wings to fly away, but this only stoked the fire hotter with the dry Freljord air. Soon all of Horn Hall was alight.
Oh,
Damn,
no.
not my man.
Oh.
Not my man Ornn's house. The fire raged for days, darkening the skies with ash. Of course, Ornn slept through the whole thing. He awoke on top of a pile of ashes in a very bad mood, for he had not had a restful sleep. But he did not know what Anivia had
Bad.
done. And to this day, she never told him the truth. What a
That's
bitch.
She's scared.
I compliment my own handiwork, and look where it has gotten me. Oh, no, look where it got me, said Ornn, surveying the damage. Never again will I pat myself on the back. I shall let the quality of the work speak for itself. Ornn had one goal in particular
Oh
for
my
his
God.
next home. He did not want it to be flammable. That's the only goal. He fashioned himself a spade, a lever, and a fork. With these tools, he could dig for ore, move mighty pillars, and eat delicious spiced cherries.
Yes.
Oh my god, look at him! Okay. He hammered and shaped chunks of ore until a black mountain stood. Inside was a great forge that channeled the primordial molten flame from deep within the earth. He was pleased with his hearth home, but it was too hot inside to dwell comfortably, even for Ornn, who can sleep through a fucking fire. So he dug a trench from the sea straight to the mountain. The seal sister allowed cold waters to rush through the trench and cool the hearth home. Great plumes of steam rose up. It took 3 days for the mountain to cool enough for Ornn. In that time, the ocean that fed the river dipped several inches. Jesus. By then, so
That's
much
how
steam
long
had
it was.
risen from the waters that the perpetual blue sky was mottled with darkening gray clouds. As these new puffy forms gathered and cooled, they grew heavier and heavier until they blew the whole house down with snow. It snowed for 100 years. This is why the Freljord still has so much snow today. So wait, it doesn't snow anymore?
Well, it still snows, but like Ornn's the reason that there's clouds.
Oh, okay. I mean, Ornn and the seal sister. Anyway. One of the children frowns at me. If Ornn did so much for the world, then why is it only you who knows the stories about him, she asks. The girl is young, but has already seen so much hardship that her hair has several shocks of silver running through it. Yeah, she got raped. There is one tale that answers this very question, I reply. Would you like to hear it? The children eagerly wait for cock. Story 3. 3 sisters ask Ornn for help. Once, there were 3 sisters, surprise, surprise, who needed Ornn's help in saving their world. Ornn, however, did not care to help anyone save any world anywhere.
Bad.
It was for personal reasons, and he did not elaborate on the matter. But this did not stop the 3 sisters journeying many days and nights to ask. Okay. There are creatures of great and wicked magic that stalk our tribes, the first sister said. She had fierceness and war in her eyes. They want to destroy and rape all things in the world for themselves. This sounds like a problem, Ornn said. He did not look up from his foraging. Then will you fight with us and use your strength and big Ornn cock to slay the monsters? Ornn grunted. This grunt meant no, in such a way as to halt any more discussion. This was understood by all. If you heard this grunt, you would have thought the first sister wise for not pressing the matter further. These beings watch our every move, the second sister said. What a dumbass. She's fucking talking after he said no. There was hope and wisdom in her voice. I would ask you to take the spade that once dug your mighty river and use it to dig the deepest trench in all the world. He dug the Howling Abyss. Then we can learn the monsters into the pit ourselves and solve our own problem. Ornn grunted. The sound of this grunt meant, I will dig that hole. Does he communicate through fucking grunts? Like...
He's working. They're interrupting him.
And that everyone... He's always working. And that everyone should stop talking immediately. This was understood by all. If you heard this grunt, you would have thought the second sister wise for not pressing the matter further. So Ornn dug them a trench, for a very deep hole can add much to a landscape. Also, he had planned on digging one anyway, and the proposed location was a fine spot. When Ornn was finished with the trench, he left the three sisters with nary a word, for he had already said far too much to them. Yeah, he grunted at them too much. That is one deep hole, that's what she said. I pray it is deep enough. Wind blew up from the freshly dug abyss with an otherworldly howl, as if to say that it was deep enough. If you had heard the abyss howl, the Howling Abyss, you would have thought it wise that no one climbed down to measure its depth. He fucking dug the Howling Abyss. Are you kidding me?
It's like the deepest hole in all the land.
Yes.
He did it with a fucking shovel.
Minecraft. Several years later, the sisters returned. They looked as if the battles with their foes had taken a toll. Yeah, they looked pregnant. This time, the third sister spoke. Her icy breath reminded Ornn of the cold and dry days long ago. That's probably fucking Lysandra. Ornn, builder of all things, she began. I did not build all things, Ornn grumbled again. He did not look up from his forging. Just some of them. The third sister continued. We come now to ask you for one simple favor.
Suck my dick.
To fuck. The pit you dug is so deep and so wide, we cannot build even a single bridge across it. Teach me how to build a bridge that can never break, and I will do the work myself. Ornn raised his cock. He studied the third sister's eyes. He did not trust her, for she had a scent of magic about her. It's Lysandra, and magic always makes sturdy things weaker. There are many able bridge builders. Shut up. Go and bother them. The other builders cannot make a bridge with the type of stone we have, the third sister replied. They claim it fell from the sky, and they cannot forge it for all their efforts. She then presented a chunk of star metal. If you had seen the star metal, you would think it wise that only Ornn could possibly ever shape this material, for it was almost as stubborn and unyielding as him. But he's more stubborn and unyielding. Ornn agreed, but he would do the work alone, and required the star metal itself as payment. The third sister gave it to him, and he used it to forge a tool to help build the bridge. With that tool, and only that tool, Ornn built the bridge. The second sister felt bad about the third sister's lie, for they did not need a bridge at all. She asked Ornn what sort of tool it was. I used it to hammer, Ornn said. So I will call it Hammer. I have said enough!
Alright.
When he was out of sight, the third sister walked the length of the bridge, reciting strange incantations across the entire span. This turned the bridge into a crossbar that sealed the beast below within the abyss. However, Ornn had been right. The addition of the magic ruined the quality of his work. Had the three sisters left it well enough alone, it would have lasted forever. Instead, the enchantment would slowly eat away at the masonry. It would take ages, though, so nobody paid it much mind. And the three sisters vowed to never speak to Ornn again. Ornn again.
So that's why it crumbles away every now and then.
Yeah, that's why when you're on it, it's fucking crumbling. It's because it's been like a billion years. Ornn, meanwhile, realized he did not like people asking him favors, and he threw his spade so far to the west as he could, where it landed, no one knows, and its fate is lost to darkness. It's Yorick's shovel.
That is Yorick.
It's Yorick's shovel.
Yeah.
Then he turned east and threw his favorite eating fork as far as he could fizz. It landed in the Great Sea. Some say later a mer king found a powerful trident at the sea bottom and still uses it to rule his kingdom. Wait, it's not Fizz, because Fizz isn't the Mer King.
Huh. Yeah, but
They're probably gonna change Fizz's lore then. Like who else?
I love how Hunter just cuts out.
Didn't he steal that shit or something?
Who else uses
he
like a
found
fork? It has to
Yeah,
be
he found
Fizz.
it. Yeah.
He found it.
Yeah.
He's not a king of anything, and he doesn't use it to rule. He literally just sits around in Bilgewater and cocks off.
Yeah, but remember that was
Maybe
like,
they're changing his lore since Volibear's a god now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
maybe.
billions of years ago. It's like maybe he like that American nigga got clapped or something, and then he found that shit.
Maybe you're right. Okay. Ornn was ready to throw his hammer into the night sky, but he could not bear to do it and decided to keep it. Were you to see Ornn and ask him if it is his favorite tool, he would scold you for thinking like a child, but in secret he favors hammer above all other things he made. It's actually just called hammer. It's not a hammer, it's the hammer.
Yes.
It's the best hammer.
So wait, Ornn literally got annoyed from them asking favors, so he threw away his own tools.
He can just make another if he fucking wants to.
I mean, you're not wrong, but like, what kind of solution is that? I'm gonna throw away my own tools. It's not like other people can use it.
Yeah, but then like if someone comes and asks him, like, well, yeah, too bad, I can't fucking do it. I don't have my tools. You feel?
I mean, I guess. Okay.
Chris and
Dawn-
Ornn gets worshippers.
Shut up. Dawn brings the plumpest berries and the meatiest fish. I say to the children, we need to be rested. They groan in unison and plead with me for one more story. Just one more. There's only one more story about Ornn left, I tell them. We should save it for another night. Only when they pledge to do every chore and not complain about being too tired do I relent. 4. The Troll and the Ram Door. Oh, baby.
Yes.
Everyone knows that you never challenge a troll to a drinking contest, don't they? Even you, little ones, know not to make a bet with a troll, for trolls are sneaky and will always win. Also, everyone in the Freljord knows that the uglier a troll is, the luckier and more cunning it could be. And Trundle's a fucking ugly ass bitch.
But like his traditional skin, he's like he's gonna fuck your bitch and your daughter.
He still looks ugly as fuck.
Nah, he looks pretty good.
Unfortunately, Yeti, Ornn did not know any of these things.
Oh no.
Grubgrak the Hideous was the oldest trollkin in the world. His chest hair was so long, it got tangled up in his gnarled toes. Ugh.
Ew.
He would often trip over it and break his nose, which was bulbous and misshapen from being broken so many times.
Like juice.
Oh,
He only had 2 good teeth, 1 bad eye, and 1 worse eye. Warts and pimples covered his rotund belly. I will not tell you how he smelled. If I did, you will never eat fermented fish stew again. Build me a door that will keep my treasure safe from thieves forever, Grubgrak said to Ornn outside Hearthhome. And I will give you 10 casks of my troll mead. It's a family recipe. Damn, it's a shame Gragas wasn't there yet. He would have given Ornn like better.
I don't want to interrupt you, but like, they showed some of the skins, like a lot of the skins.
We'll see them later, Yeti.
Okay, just letting you know.
Okay. Ornn dismissed his guest, but Grubgrak stuck out his foot to stop the door from closing. Ornn did not want the troll's bunion-covered toes ruining the paint, so he let the creature go on. Let us make a wager, said the truly unbeautiful troll. Whoever can finish a cask of troll mead first owes the other a debt. If it will make you go away, okay. Ornn had never been beaten in a drinking contest. Everyone knew this back then, and now you do too, Yeti.
Yes.
At least it will be good to have a drink, Grubrak replied, and his smile warped one of the Hearthhome's pillars. While Ornn's back was turned, the troll slipped a shard of true ice into a cask and handed it to his challenger. They toasted in the jovial manner of the Freljord and drank. Ornn found the troll mead watered down, and he did not like it. However, Grubgrak, there's a spelling error here, was halfway through his cask. With his own cask still almost at the brim, Ornn tipped his head back further and drank until he thought he would drown, but Grubgrak slammed his empty cask down and belched, and the fire in the oven turned a sickly green. Ornn coughed and sputtered. "What is wrong?" Grubgrak teased him. "Are you choking on dick?" Then Ornn noticed the true ice in his drink. It was perpetually melting and watering down the troll mead. No matter how much he chugged, the true ice had replaced it. He smashed the cask with one hand. "You cheated," Ornn said. His angry voice set off an earthquake that sunk a few islands.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Jesus. Of course, the troll said.
Of course. Of course. I love how cocky he sounds.
What other advantage would an ugly troll like me have against the mighty Ornn? In truth, the ugliest trolls have almost all the advantages in the world, but Ornn did not spend much time with ugly trolls, so he wouldn't know that. But now all of you little yetis do. "A deal is a deal," Grubgrak reminded him. "My word is as good as my hammer." Oh, wait a minute.
As hammer.
Alright, I'm back. Alright, "My word is as good as my dick," Ornn grumbled, "even if I was cheated." So, Ornn labored for 10 days and built the single best door anyone had ever built. He adorned it with a ram's head like his own, and the one at the heart of the Freljord. Wait, what? Okay. It was impervious to magic and lockpickers alike. Grubgrak was so impressed with the quality of the door that he was speechless, which is very rare for a troll. You know they like opening their mouth for dick.
Yeah.
Ornn fastened the door in front of the troll's cave, which was on top of the troll's mountain where all the ugliest trollkin in history had hid their treasure. With a grunt, Ornn trundled off, leaving Grubgrak admiring his new door. When he had regained his wits, Grubgrak realized it. It had been a day since he last counted his gold, and he was growing anxious, but he could find no way to open the door. None at all. Grubgrak tried brute force. The ramforce door did not budge. Then he tried to strip the paint with his fouled breath. Again, the door did not budge. Lastly, he tried to pry the hinges from the cave wall, but alas, the door was fixed to the mountain so firmly that the troll only hurt his shoulders trying to shake it loose. He was locked out. Grubgrak stormed into Ornn's forge. "What trickery is this?" he shouted. His breath was so bad, the forge fire almost went out.
Jesus fucking.
"There is no trickery," Ornn replied, horny, stoking the flames back to life. "You told me to build a door that would keep your treasures safe from thieves forever. And I did. This door will stand longer than the mountain it is on. No one can break it. I made it just as you asked." "But I cannot get inside," Grubgrak cried. "And I stole nothing from you." "Time is more valuable than gold," Ornn said. "So you are a thief, and my work is as good as my word." Grubgrak tried for years to get back inside for his treasure, but the door never opened for him, and he could not even find the keyhole. With each attempt, the ram-headed door stared back at him, an eternal reminder of the time he cheated Ornn. And if you listen carefully up in the mountains, you can hear greedy old Grubgrak's wails of anguish before any avalanche, even to this day. Even to this day, Jesse. The children, at this point, are finally fucking fast asleep. Snuggled into each other around the fire. I carry them one by one to the orphan's tent to rape them. Our tribe hasn't had much to share, but we are not the winter's claw. The last child is still awake by the fire. He lies on his side. "Those stories aren't real," he says with his tiniest voice. "It's the legless boy. It's Bran."
Jordine.
We found him. Oh my god, it's Jordine. We found him half dead after our own village had been raided. We couldn't leave him. I couldn't leave him. So I wrapped his wounds in bandages and carried him on my shoulders. I think they are made up, or changed to help us go to sleep. A story is as real as we believe it, you little fuck, I tell him, as I settled down next to him.
And snapped his mother's neck.
There is a God who is good, but he doesn't care about us. I nod slowly. Oh wait, fuck, the kid said that. I nod slowly. I can see why you would think that, but it is not true, you idiot. There's one more story I can tell you. It was the last story my grandmother told me before I blossomed. Oh wait, what the fuck? This is a woman. Before I blossomed into womanhood. She wanted me to be ready for it.
Ready to give her first
It is
time
not
to
like
Ornn.
the other. Ornn, will you hammer me?
Oh my fucking god.
But I think you have seen enough already. What do you think? The boy nods. I draw him close to my tit and begin.
And suck his ass.
5. The tragedy of the hearthblood. Oh no.
Oh.
Once, long before the splintering of the Freljord, Ornn had a legion of smiths who lived at the base of his mountain. They claimed to worship Ornn, but if you were to ask him, they were misguided, for he would say he had no followers. Still, it is true that they built themselves a little town, and it was filled with folk who wished to make the finest things in all the world. There were thousands of them. They made tools, they made plows, they made carts and armor and saddles, they built furnaces and homes, they made fucking sex toys too. They called themselves the Hearthblood. For they never felt the biting cold of the Freljord, and could tolerate the immense heat bubbling beneath their bare feet on the slopes of Hearthhome. They became the finest craftspeople in the world, and their workmanship was surpassed in quality only by Ornn. Occasionally, he would appraise their work. If he liked what one of the fucks made, he would simply say, passable. This was a mighty compliment from Ornn, and who had learned long ago to let good work speak for itself. Do you remember the tale, Yeti?
Yeah.
Good. Ornn never admitted that he admired the Hearthblood, but deep inside his chest, his volcanic heart churned with respect for the hard-working people. They did not kneel or offer him sacrificed flesh or dick. They did not turn his words into scriptures and spread them across the land to people who did not want to hear them. Christianity! Instead, they focused on their work in silence. They were imaginative, resourceful, and hardworking. These Hearthblood folk made Ornn smile, although nobody knew because they couldn't see the smile underneath his beard. Oh no. But one day, Volibear came to visit his brother Ornn. And this was no friendly stop, Yeti. For Ornn and his brother were never friendly, nor had they ever visited one another before. The great Dick Bear was going to make a war and needed weapons. Ornn saw the army, fierce aberrations, men twisted into other shapes by their efforts to please Volibear. They were simple and fierce and quick to anger and fuck. Give them swords and axes, demanded Volibear with wicked intent and horniness. Give them armor, and I will make it worth your while with a cock-sucking. No, said Ornn, for he wanted no part in Volibear's warmongering and raping.
Jesus.
Fine, said Volibear. Have your followers do it instead. I do not care. Do this, I am your brother. This irked Ornn so much that his great horns flared with molten heat. The people in this town below do not follow me. They build for themselves, not me. They are quiet and work hard. That's all. Leave them alone. But Volibear saw beneath his brother's words to the fiery heart in his chest. For all his flaws, Volibear was very good at reading others. They are a reflection of your own image. Ornn's horns, that's hard to say, Ornn's horns grew red hot and then white hot. If I see you again, Volibear, I will beat you within an inch of your life, he growled.
Christ.
If you had heard this thread, you would think it wise for Volibear to leave and never return. But Volibear loved fighting and he was
Oh,
not wise.
Oh no!
So he took a piece of armor from the walls of Ornn's forge.
No.
If you will not make me what I want, then I will take it.
Hey,
With
it's like his
that,
armor.
wait, what?
It's like his armor then.
Yeah. With that, Ornn charged at Volibear and smashed him with his horns. It was so powerful a blow, the summit of the mountain shook. This was exactly what Volibear wanted. For centuries, he had grown jealous of the love the Hearthblood freely gave to his brother. It enraged the Warbear. Oh my god, it shows him attacking Volibear.
Jesus.
Oh
Like,
my
there's, like,
god.
Oh my. Look at
Wait,
Ornn's
wait.
little face.
Wait, let me see. Let me see.
It's on the site.
Yeah.
Go check my stream.
Yeah, I'm checking stream right now.
Say right there.
Alright,
You'll see.
Oh my god!
You'll see.
Jesus, he getting clapped.
Jesus Christ. They fought
Look
for
at-
8 days. They fought so hard, the base of the mountain trembled. So fierce was their fighting that molten stone exploded from the peak of Hearthhome.
Jesus Christ.
Lightning strikes barraged the mountainside, and geysers of flame and cum gushed from the cliffs. The skies grew black and red. The blood of the world ran through the highlands as the ground shook. People all over the Freljord saw the results of the battle between Volibear and Ornn. When the smoke cleared, the mountain had lost its peak, but
No.
worse. The Hearthblood were all dead, and their town was nothing but smoldering ruins and a fading memory. For many centuries, the half-mountain once called Hearthhome had stood silent. Every now and then, a plume of smoke rises from the crater where the peak once stood. Some say it is Ornn, lighting his furnace to keep the fires under the surface of the world from going out. Others say he is building a great weapon that he will one day unleash. And there are still others who believe Ornn was killed by Volibear, for he has not been seen in the Freljord since. And so Ornn's name and tales have been lost to time and written out of the histories. These few stories, passed on around our meals of roasted fish, are all that remain. That is a sad tale, which means it is the truest. The legless boy says, looking up at me. There is a tear in his eye. What do you believe happened to Ornn? I believe when the great builder returns, I tell him, it will be to remake the world. The boy laughs. I would like to see that day. Too bad he's not going to see the day he fucking walks. Maybe you will. Do not weep for the Hearthblood. Weep instead for the stories lost to war and time. For once they were more numerous than the stars. Repeat these tales so our children's children can still hear our ancestors' voices and stoke the fire of the forge in our hearts, but only while you're raping them can you tell them.
Alright.
In my own heart, I can feel my grandmother's smile. It warms me. I feel no cold beneath my bare breasts.
What is good with you?
And that is the story of Ornn.
What is actually good with you?
Chris, would you want to be